Oh, too blurry. It's a frog. Now it's gone. Okay. Yes, it's dirty down there. The robot's broken, and I can't reach, so it's fine. The water's too cold anyways. Is it just me? Or does this cloud kind of look like a crab? Do you see it? Like if you're looking at the crab's butt and its claws are in the front? No, that's just, I don't know. Never mind. This just happened. They're so big. Look at how big and pretty they are. Kind of in rough shape, but they're 50% off, so I don't care about that. And they're elephant ears. They're gonna grow like crazy. No big deal. They're huge. I mean, look at how big that is. There's my hand. These are massive. It's way bigger in person, I swear. Oh, I forgot to tell you what I'm doing. I decided to go ahead and get these guys planted, like, right now. It's getting kind of late, but they're thirsty and they're not going to stand up on their own. They're just going to keep falling over. That's not good for them. So I'm going to go ahead and dig a hole right there and another one right behind this ostrich fern and get them in there so I can get them watered and hydrated. It's going to kind of block this Tropicana there, but I mean, they're so cool I don't really care. And I can just dig the Tropicana up and move it over there. That's probably what I'll end up doing. I just went ahead and used my box cutter, cut this thing open. Look at those roots. Crap. I didn't dig the hole big enough. I dug the top big enough, just not the bottom. Well, okay. Well, trapped under the umbrella again. Hey, look at that. They're looking pretty good. A little wonky, kind of messy. I did have to do a little bit of pruning, but it was worth it. These guys are freaking huge. I have a little spotlight on them right there. And yeah, these are going to look really cool at nighttime. And these are just going to keep on growing. The caliper of the trunk on this one is almost as big as this old cherry tree right there. And that cherry tree stump that I need to remove, but the birds built a nest in it. They cut a hole and there's a bird nest in there. So I don't want to cut it down just yet. But I need to soon because that can attract termites and diseases and things you just don't want around your other plants. But I'm going to give that a few weeks, let them do their bird family thing, and then get rid of that stump, finally. But look at, it's so pretty. I mean, it's messy, but it's very pretty. I'm really happy with these. Like I said, it's only May. These are going to get way, way, way bigger. Who knows the fate of the crepe myrtle? That's too early to tell. They usually don't start popping out until late May anyways, even when you have a normal spring. So, I don't know. We'll see. I've got my fingers crossed for those. I'm really going to enjoy looking at these through the window at nighttime, especially when they're all lit up and everything. Oh. Oh my gosh. Can you see this? Of course it stops as soon as I hit record. It is just raining garbage from the birch trees and the maple trees. Oh, that's not going to be fun to clean up. I need to cut the spike off this fell, too. Pumpkin? What you doing? What, you going to act like I'm not here now? Looking. Yee, good girl. Excuse you. Alright, just chilling in the middle of the street. Oh, nope, you can't see it. Back at Home Depot. I gotta see if they have any more of those Diamond Frost euphorbias. And I need to be quick. Because I have a whole bunch of really expensive liquor in the car, and I don't know. I feel like it's not supposed to get hot. I don't know. It's gift liquor. It's not from me. Is it called liquor when it's fancy? I have no idea. Uh-oh. Someone broke their nose. Yesterday was not productive. I mean, I guess it was a little bit productive in the sense that I filmed a bunch of videos, which was good. Next weekend, I'm going to be out of town, and there's a lot of stuff. I mentioned last week's vlog, family wedding coming up, end of the month, beginning of next month. So I'm going to be in and out of being able to do YouTube things a lot. So I wanted to have some stuff prepared. But yeah, so I need to get a timer for this light. That's what the whole point of this was. And it's early, I need to water, and apparently a pterodactyl pooped on my hose. Like right up. What were they doing? That's so rude. A huge mess doing planters yesterday. And I need to run back to the nursery I need to get a few more of those Diamond Frost Euphorbias. I've decided I really like them and I need more of them in my life. I also need to hang the Vandas up. They're just kind of hanging out in a pile over here. I've been soaking them and dropping them, soaking them and dropping. They actually hang them up. But I've been waiting for the leaves in this maple tree up here to fill out before I hung them up because, you know, they'll bleach out and burn if I put them up there before the leaves fill out. But it's pretty well filled out by now, so it should be okay. So I'm gonna go run those errands because I'm like actually like dressed and clean. I don't want to, you know, get nasty and then go out. That doesn't make sense. Do the errands first. Give me my coffee. Give me my coffee. Coffee. My goodness, so many potato vines. I really like the variegated variety. The color on the leaves, and this generally brightens up in the sun. So put you back over here. Sorry for knocking you down. Oh, they have the black ones too. I planted these last year and I really wasn't too thrilled with them, but maybe I'll try it again. Nah. Not this year. Now here's something you don't see in St. Louis very often. I haven't seen them very often. These are the Primula malicoides. It's a type of primrose. Very pretty. Don't know about heat resistance. I'm not messing with them, but they're pretty. You don't say what kind you are. Are you the grande? I've seen bigger. Oh, what a pretty fuchsia. I love that. That's a pretty salvia. There's the tag. There ain't no lantana over here. Liars. Oh, you're cute too. There's so many fuchsias. I love fuchsias. I don't need the combo planter, but I love the variegated. Was it Gartenmeister? I can't remember, but the tropical fuchsia. Love the variegated form. I wonder if they have those individually. Probably not. Oh, there we go. Thumbnail. Oh, and a quick note to self. I need to look into getting some of those, what's it called? I had to roll my window up, it's a bit noisy. You know, the little, like a garden saw. Not a saw, but like the little, it's like a switchblade, but not really. It's I know what it is, and I need to remember to get one, because I have some pretty hefty roots I need to cut through in some plants, so that's, bye. Okay, made it to Lowe's. Need potting soil, a handsaw thing, whoa, that's not the right hand motion, and the creeping Jenny. I need one more creeping Jenny. And if they have solid pink, the Seminole hibiscus in shrub form, I may snag one up. We will see. That thing. Oh, she's so thirsty. I was gonna get some pool salt, but looks like they stopped selling it. Why did everybody stop selling pool salt? Ooh, nice balls. Is that intimidating and scary to anybody else? Like fighter jets flying around overhead? What's that all about? Seriously, what are they doing? What's happening? Alright, I'm finally home. It's time to plant up these mule palm pots. Do it exactly the same as I did down there with the Adenidia palms on each side there. Just Supertunia Vistabubblegums and then those margurite lime potato vines. I do false plantings with these big mule palms because these pots are too heavy. They're big pots. Too heavy to move in and out all the time. The mule palms during the winter time here, like, I maybe have to store them inside for 2 months. They're pretty cold hardy. I'm in 6B and it's not really their area, but it's just easier to move them in and out in the smaller pots. I don't want to risk breaking these big pots. They were expensive. Had to save up for those. So yeah, so they're false planted. There's a lot of rocks in the bottom to help weight them down. And so I have this filled in, and now I have to go in and dig out holes in their massive root systems to fit the petunias and potato vines. I don't really have an issue with tearing up their roots because usually when I do that, they actually seem to appreciate it. Some fresh nutrients can get down in there, and they usually put out a little bit more growth, greener growth. I think it has actually just kind of helped me space out needing to repot these a little bit, but this is going to be the last year I can keep them in these pots. I'm going to need to bump them up next year for sure. So here on this one, it's much easier to see what I'm talking about. I haven't dug this one out yet. So I'm going to lift this out and dig it out a little bit more because I want where the roots are right here. By the way, when your palm's roots start to come up like this, that's usually a sign it's time to repot. So like I said, I'm pushing things a little bit here. But yeah, I'm going to lift this out, dig it out a little bit more so it can sink down and backfill it and plant it. Scoop that junk up. And dump. There we go. See how much lower that is in there? Down a little bit further. Probably could have gone a little bit further down, but I think this is okay. In years past, I've just backfilled it with the stuff I pulled out. The thing is, though, that soil has a lot of gravel in it, and, you know, water takes the path of least resistance. So, I think it would be better, as far as being able to keep the plants hydrated, to go ahead and just use a soil that's the same density, roughly, as the soil that the plants are in. So otherwise, the water just kind of rushes out the side. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's really hard to get these guys centered. I don't really mind if they're at a slight angle, only because one of the appeals to the mule palms is that they have a slightly coconutty appearance with the husk and the whatnot. So if they're at a slight angle, I'm fine with that. In fact, it'll help encourage it to grow with a bit of a curve to the trunk. Not being centered bothers me a little bit, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about it, so just dealing with it. Had the same problem over here with this one. That's why they're not spaced completely perfect. There are some spots where I didn't want to tear the roots up too much if they were really close to the edge of the pot. Yeah, I'm just going to dig this guy out now and, whoa, dig this guy out and get it planted. Uh-oh. I'm missing a potato vine. Oh, I see it. You see it? There we go. That's a relief. Ugh, crackles. By the way, so far I am loving this handsaw. Every year it takes me forever to get these holes dug out, but man, this thing is just cutting right through them. No problem. I mean, it's the easiest it's ever been. Last year I destroyed a really nice kitchen knife trying to do this. This was $20. That's worth it. I mean, it's Corona. Who knows how long it's going to last, but yeah, this is going so much faster than I thought it would. Oh, and as I filled these holes out, I'm also trying to go through and spread a little bit of Osmocote in there to let that get down nice and deep, part of my shadow. Actually, though, I cannot believe how much easier this is with that saw. This normally would take me hours. It's been like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm going through and kind of feathering the roots out a little bit so that they can grow out to the sides also, because I can't dig these holes very big, which is another reason that I wanted to fill in the sides of the pots with potting soil, because that gives them actual dirt to grow down into on the edges. Because that rock that's not going to hold the moisture very long. If it doesn't hold the moisture very long, then the roots aren't going to want to go there. You know, roots seek moisture. Okay, potato vines, watering, and done with this one. Oh, and I feel like I should mention, not all palm trees are okay with having their roots handled like this. Like the sable palms, this would not be good. When you cut their roots, generally the entire root that gets cut dies. That's why they're, you know, sold as sticks. Look at that. Perfect. The mule palms seem to appreciate it, though. And I'm sure that's only because they're terribly root bound. I mean, they're not root bound anymore. Is there dirt on my lens? There you go. Actually, I can't really tell the difference at all. You get that potato vine. Alright, come on. There we go. Go ahead and pop you out. Loosen those roots up a little bit more, because like I said, I want them to be loosened up on the sides, particularly so that they'll spread out if the soil's too tight down below, because of, you know, the giant palm tree growing out of them. And in you go. Okay, now I'm just backfilling these in. You'll notice I have the root balls, I don't know if you can see that, root balls up just a little bit above the soil line, because these end up on drip emitters, and when it gets really hot, sometimes I've had some issues with stem rot. So that's another reason I feather the roots out, so they can go shallow and into the gaps. All right, done. Well, I need to water them. I have a flat tire on the wheelbarrow. Oh, and all this, hello. All this leftover dirt is going to end up in the shade garden. It's going to help break that mulch down a little bit faster to get that into more of a garden bed than just a huge pile of mulch. There we go. Let the hot water run out of this guy while I'm walking over here. Okay, and I'm just going to water these guys in. Can't see my screen. Don't know if anything's in focus, but I tapped it just to be safe. And this will also, because the dirt's going to redistribute since there's big gaps in between the pot and the pot. You know, I don't think I'm making sense. I need to take a quick break. It's very hot out here. Water these in and move on to the next planter in a few minutes. Actually, I guess for you guys it'll just be like in a second. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so now I need to get this planter... Oh my gosh, I'm stumbling. What am I saying? Hydrangea trees. So I need to get these potted up. What I'm going to do in these, I'm going to do this variegated orange Sunpatient. The variety is called Spreading Orange. Nothing complicated there. In the front, I'm doing these pink sky petunias and then a creeping Jenny on each side. I also have these coleus, which are awesome. And I was thinking about maybe doing one in the back of each of these. The only problem with that is it's going to go with the 3 things in the front and then one. This particular variety of Sunpatient will spread out and fill out the front of this pot. There's not a ton of room in the back, but I think that the foliage and the color is going to look nice. Typically, the coleus are more the shade lover, whereas these are sunny plants. Creeping Jenny can go into a decent amount of shade, though. It does better with some sun. Whereas the coleus, not as much, but these have been getting a lot of sun, and they're doing okay. Them getting less sun, or what I should say is they're going to get less sun over here. So where they've been stored the past several weeks, they've been getting a lot of sun, and they're doing okay. The leaves got a little bit crispy one day, but there's less sun here than, like I said, where they've been stored. I'm not too terribly concerned about them. The main thing is going to be when the heat sets in. The sun is going to change, the angle of everything's going to change. Right now the sun's up high. When summer gets here, it's going to be lower, so it's going to be shaded more from the trees. And this will just be getting a few hours of morning sun, which may not bode well for the petunia, but I had petunias in here last year. They did fine. The sun impatiens I had in here last year did fine. They got a little bit leggy. Sun impatiens you can grow part shade to sun, but the less sun you give them, the more long and leggy they might get. They might need a little bit more pruning to keep them nice and full. Does that make sense? Yeah, enough talking. Let's just do this. Alright, one thing I didn't keep in mind is there's not enough room back here to fit this coleus in, so it has to go on one side. So it's going to look a little bit off. I'm kind of okay with it. These coleus get really big, so I'm still pretty confident that it is going to end up coming up and sort of filling that out. But we will see. I'll keep my eyes peeled for more of this variety to even it out in the future. But for now, this will do. I need to get them planted. Get this guy set down in there. A lot of leaves in here. Thought I had this all cleaned up. Right, and get the sun impatient down in there. And water them in. Whew, these guys are a little thirsty. Not always a great idea to plant things when they're a little bit dehydrated. I didn't really notice till it was too late, so they'll be fine. I have them on drip emitters. I didn't add slow release fertilizer because these are... What are these? Why do I keep wanting to call them hibiscus? These are my hydrangeas. I need to put in some of the espoma holly tone in here. And coleus sometimes are a little bit more sensitive to fertilizer. I did just barely manage to get the coleus stuck behind this guy. They need to fill out. I like the orange and the pink. Sorry about the neighbor mowing. But yeah, this is... It looks a little shabby. It'll pick up. It'll look nice. You know, these things take time. Gardening doesn't happen overnight. Stick my drip emitter down in there. Done with these. And I do think that that does look much, much, much better. This side does get more sun than this side, which could be why this particular sun impatient... Oh, I'm dirty. That could be why this sun impatient doesn't have as many buds on it, or it could just be because it's not as developed. It's a little bit smaller. We will see. It could end up being tricky to get these planters even because one gets a little bit more light than the other. But we're going to find out. We have to wait for the seasons to change, though. I just planted these up last week, and look at how much they filled out already. I am loving Supertunia Vistabubblegum. Picked up these Bermuda beach ones thinking I might swap them out because I kind of like the pink on them a little bit better. But now that these have been in the soil and in the sun a little bit, the color's growing on me. It's more vibrant. They were pretty pale. These are very pale right now, but that could be the same situation. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to redo all of these. That would be ridiculous. I think this is going to be nice, partially just because I know the Supertunia Vistabubblegum is vigorous. It grows very vigorously, so I think that would be good for these tall planters. These are about 32, I think they're 32 inches tall. I want something that'll spill down really, really far, and I know that these will do that for me. Right. Next I need to do the planters in my driveway. These poor bananas that are in there are just cooking. They need to get potted up and onto the drippers immediately. They look bad. We just went from cool to hot like out of nowhere, which is good, but they didn't appreciate it. I originally picked up these potato vines thinking I'd put one in the front of each, which I don't really know why I was thinking I'd just do one, because potato vines usually look better when you have multiples like this. You just have one. I don't know. I just always think it looks a little bit off. But I also have been trying to think of something to plant that'll grow down in between these ferns and kind of come through the rock and the seashells. This might be what I'm looking for. This is a variegated variety. Also, pardon my cuts and bruises and things like that. If that's something that bothers you, sorry. It's just cats and dogs. It happens. No, I don't like that. I think what I'm going to end up doing is using the Crescia or Tradescantha pallida, the purple heart plant, Wandering You. More tropical look to it. They're purple. It'll stand out better. And sometimes perennial. Not always. They're hardy like 7B, 8 and up. Sometimes they'll come back. So I guess I'll just do what I was saying and do the one in front of each. That's fine. But I almost forgot about the Bermuda beaches. Oh my goodness. I just watered these. They're a little heavy. Oh, look at that. 2 plants in one pot. Just come in here and divide these up. Alright. Petunia. Fill that in. Potato vine. Cutting, basically. Another petunia. El otro potato vine. How do you say potato vine in Spanish? Alright, last petunia. Little wonky, but they're done. I'll come back and show these again when the lighting's better. Alright, this has gone on for too long. This is the pot I've been trying to fix up. It turns out I'm gonna have to like re-mortar and completely repair the inside. I have a lot to do in the next 2 weeks. That's not gonna happen. Have to be realistic with expectations. I have this right here, which works fine. It's a good pot. I used to use this for the fountain. Problem is it's too tall. So right above the seam I'm going through and I'm cutting it out. Oh, that's safe. Just above this seam here I'm going through. I'm kind of trying to give it a bit of a wavy texture. I may have to sand it down afterwards to make sure it's not sharp. The reason I'm doing this, it's too tall. The point of that is so my dogs have clean, cool water to drink out of, and that way they won't drink out of the swimming pool because it's salt water, and even if it wasn't, it'd be just like straight up chlorine, which I get the salt, it's complicated. It's not good for them. This will be better. I'm just cutting the top off of this, and I actually, this is plastic, but I really liked when I had this as a fountain over here because I had some lights in it, and the lights kind of made this sort of a translucent pretty glow on it. Those lights are no longer with us. They fell apart. There's like really, really cheap lights from China, but I can get new ones for pretty cheap. So I'm going to do that now, fix that, moving this into a corner that ends up being like a little faux tropical area. When I get to it and when I mortar it through, I'm going to sink it into the ground just a few inches and kind of turn into like a small little fountain area, because I think that'll look really nice where it's going. None of this matters right now because you don't know what I'm talking about, but this is what I'm doing now. Alright, have this draining out, ready to swap out with this. Gonna move that bowl, then I have to move that bowl, and then I can clean. It is so messy, I can't take it anymore. And there we go. While this is refilling, start cleaning and tidying best I can. I don't have a lot of pressure out of my hose for some reason right now. Alright, got this guy flipped on. Okay, gonna need to do some cleaning in the water, but it's coming along. That's better. The wavy pattern didn't end up looking as cool as I thought it would. Just looks kind of junky and plasticky. I can net up some hydrotone and put some creeping Jenny to come over the edges. That'll hide that just fine. That is not happening right now though. Still working on getting the gunk cleaned up. Just pulled my Vandas out from a soak. I do not want them sitting on the ground. I usually hang them in the maple tree, but I think I already talked about it earlier. The maple isn't quite ready yet. Still pulling leaves out. So I'm sorry, I'm slightly out of breath. I have some arbors. Trellises. I might put them up on this hill because I hate this open gap that's up here, and make a wall of like Vandas and put the little, I have these clip-on pails that'll hang to it, and over time I can put different greenery in them and kind of make like a weird looking living wall sort of thing, maybe. I don't know. That's going to be the next thing I'm going to do. And then I'm going to plant up the edges of these areca palms to plant that foot up too. And then we're going to be done. I'm tired. Now I'm really out of breath. That's done. Need to hang the orchids up on them. This one on the end, kind of wonky. Needs to be leveled. But my main thing is to get my vandas put away. They need to get up there. So, oh, that one's crooked too. There's an anthill in there, and I had to stand in it the whole time I was doing this. I have so many ants in my pants right now. Not pleasant. All right. Okay, there's palm trees in the way, but vandas are hung. They need to drink. This'll do. I'm gonna put little plants in all of these little pails. I have more of them. Eventually, I'll be able to fill in a lot of the gaps. It won't be completely covered, but this'll do. I'm gonna have to keep a very close eye on everything because I'm not positive what the light's gonna be like right here. It could be too bright. I may end up having to like completely take all of these down. I do not know because the trees keep growing and the sun's shifting. I'm just gonna have to watch them carefully. But I like this. Add some privacy. Now I have other orchids that I think will do well up there as well. This is good. That is going to have to wait. Because as it turns out, I'm really tired. Thought I had it in me to keep going, but I just don't. Have to take a break every now and then, and I still need to edit the video. Got a lot of stuff done. I'm very happy with it. The planters in the driveway with the bananas, they look a little off. I'm gonna work on them some more. Update you next week. Speaking of next week, I'm gonna be out of town Saturday, and I don't want to release a video when I'm not gonna be able to look at my phone. I have to drive 4 hours north and then 4 hours back. A whole long thing. So I think the vlog's gonna come out on Friday or Sunday. We will see. Also, happy early Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. The day this vlog goes up is actually going to be my birthday, Saturday. So that's one of the reasons I'm wrapping things up now. It's Thursday. I need to get this edited because tomorrow I'm doing things with my friends, and then Saturday's a family day and whatnot. So, yep, that'll do it. There's still so much dirt. Next week, I'm going to be planting more alocasias, more bananas, colocasias, working on the garden beds more so than the pots. Hopefully I'll have a lot of the pots done next week. I also have a delivery. My big palm trees should be coming in next week. So I'll be getting those planted up and arranged, and things are, by next week or the weekend after, probably next weekend, things are going to be looking very, very, very different out here. Like I was saying, I hope everybody's doing well, or I mean, happy early Mother's Day. But yeah, I do hope everybody's doing well and having a great weekend. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It helps a lot. I really appreciate it when you guys hit that thumbs up. Thank you. Subscribe as well. I upload multiple times a week. I'll link all my social media stuff down below, down there in the roots of the video. You can follow me, I'll follow you back, and we can look at each other's plant pictures. Also, just comment down below and say hi. I love hearing from everybody. Most importantly, everybody, as always, keep on growing. Bye.